You're going to be as surprised as I was to discover that some people don't like me. Me. Cute little old me. Can you imagine? Every year after I speak at CPAC, it seems that my critics really come out of the woodwork. So, to keep me humble, I am engaging with all of my antagonists and antagonizers from TikTok. Take it away.
I do not know how to operate the laundry machine in my home. I don't know how to...
Are you for real to me right now?
I am for real.
Like, that's scary. That scares me, that what just came out his mouth. Like, the laundry machine has, like, labels on it.
First, hold on. I have been unfairly maligned here. I have a very fancy laundry machine. Now, I'm not saying I would fare much better even if I had a normal one, but I move into my house. The previous owners ordered some super duper from outer space laundry machine made in Scandinavia. And it's got 10,000 settings and it has one button. Okay. So I actually don't think this guy would fare much better with my laundry machine. Thank you very much.
Oh, I don't know what to do. My whole brain is crying. Oh.
I'm not saying that I really ever do laundry anywhere else either. I don't, but it's not labeled that well. Okay. Anyway, keep going.
Hot, cold, delicates, bedding. 10 minutes, 30 minutes. What the f***? I've been doing laundry since I was like 13. That man looked like he about 35, 40.
40? Well, I'm 33.
It doesn't come natural to me. What do you mean? That shit don't come natural to nobody. You gotta learn. What else don't you know how to do?
So look, he's been doing laundry since he was 13. All right, that's admirable. I probably should have helped my mother out around the house a little more when I was a kid. He's right about that, okay? The fact that I'm 33 does not insinuate that I should be better at doing laundry now. It actually probably implies I should be worse at it, because that's just not what I do around the house. This guy, I don't know if he's married or not, but he could have a wife, and then his wife would do the laundry, and his wife would probably do most of the cooking, and his wife would probably do a lot of the cleaning. Now he might do a little bit. He might do a load of laundry every blue moon. I do a little cooking sometimes. I do a little cleaning even on occasion. But you would have something beautiful called gender roles. And you would recognize, like, I'm not as good at cooking as sweet little Elise is. Sweet little Elise is not as good at owning the libs on TikTok as I am. She probably would be, but it's just not what she does. And so you do different things and you complement each other. And you don't need to pretend that men and women are exactly the same. And to, make the feminists smile, you go around with an apron on, sweeping your floor as a man in your home. You don't have to do that all. It's okay. It's all right. You can be the man and your wife can be the woman, and it's lovely, actually. Vive la différence.
Excuse me, what?
Refuse to respect God's preferred pronouns.
Transphobes like this kill me because imagining coming to the defense of God. God is an all-powerful, omniscient, divine being, but he could really use your help, Michael Knowles. If you believe in the Bible, God straight up flooded the entire planet, unalived every Egyptian's firstborn because they wouldn't release the slaves. Like, just imagine God being up there in heaven being like, overseeing war, famine, disease, and then suddenly someone says, "Our mother who are in heaven, hallowed be her name." And God's like, they misgendered me. But keep coming to her defense, Michael Knowles, for the excuse of being transphobic. God could really use you in her corner.
Well, God is not mocked, actually. So there's a pretty good scriptural basis for the imprudence of mocking God. And, their foot shall slide in due time, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't think God needs my defense. I think it's good for me to defend God.
Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord.
I think it's good for our civilization if we're a godly civilization. No, he doesn't need me, really, for anything. It's not good for you, according to your own ideology, to misgender people. And it's really not good from an eternal standpoint to mock God. They can't attack the points that we make, usually, so they just attack points that we've never made. We will get back to those dumb TikToks in just a moment. First, though, go to hallow.com/Knowles. We are in the midst of Lent, the 40 days leading up to Easter. Many Christians are choosing to give up alcohol, social media, other distractions to focus more on prayer, fasting, and giving. Hallow's annual Pray 40 Challenge is one of their most popular. Last year, over 1 million people joined. This year's Pray 40 Challenge focuses on surrender and includes meditations on the powerful book, He Leadeth Me. This is a story about a priest who became a prisoner and a slave in the Soviet Union during the Cold War. His story is one of ultimate surrender, and we are called to offer up our worries, anxieties, problems, and lives to God. There will also be Lent music, Lent-specific Bible stories, and other Lenten prayers, such as the 7 Last Words of Christ with Jim Caviezel. Hallow is truly transformative. It will help you connect with your faith on a deeper level. So what on earth are you waiting for? Join Hallow's Pray 40 Challenge today. Download the Hallow app at hallow.com/Knowles, Knowles. That is hallow.com/Knowles, Knowles, for an exclusive 3-month free trial of all 6,000 plus prayers and meditations. Now back to the dumb TikToks.
Hey everyone, I attended the Michael Knowles event last night, so you didn't have to, and it was 30 minutes of nonsense. First, if Michael's going to pretend to be some kind of expert in settler colonialism, the least he can do is pronounce tribal names and places right, and he couldn't even do that.
Which one did I get wrong? The Hujabiji people or the...
Secondly, by celebrating settler colonialism, he was celebrating the genocide of indigenous peoples. By definition, according to the Legal Information Institute, sponsored by Cornell University, the definition of settler colonialism entails a genocide.
So that obviously isn't true, even if you're citing,
Well, according to the Liberal Institute of Liberal University, actually.
The term genocide is a very, very new term to begin with. Genocide as a term only sprouts up in the middle of the 20th century after the Second World War, or maybe during the Second World War, but you're talking about the 1940s. But settler colonialism is different than that. A genocide is when you kill
Unalived.
a whole group of people. Genocide would be distinct from, say, ethnic cleansing, which is where you remove a whole group of people from their land.
Get out of here!
Both of those things would be distinct from settler colonialism, which is where you rule over a people as a colony. Now, to her point that I mispronounced some, native tribe, I'm so terribly sorry, but this is America and we speak English. My ancestors come from Italy. And so if I go to an Italian restaurant in America, I guess I could be really pedantic. And I will sit down and I say, hey, I'll get a glass of iced tea. Yeah. And if you could bring me a fork and a spoon, and then I will have la carbonara. Io vorrei gli spaghetti alla carbonara, per favore. We speak English, okay? And we anglicize things. Pardon to her. I don't know if she's fluent in Cherokee or something, but sorry.
So it is deeply disturbing that Vanderbilt allowed a speaker that was promoting the genocide of natives to come to campus. So shame on Vanderbilt for making this space an unsafe community for Native students. Shame on Vanderbilt YAF for bringing in someone that promotes a genocide. And lastly, shame on Michael Knowles for encouraging and supporting a genocide of Native Americans.
Just FYI, this girl was invited to do a cross the picket line with you, and she agreed to sit down to correct you on your pronunciation, and then she backed out last minute and did this TikTok.
Yeah, well, shame on you, darling, if you had any point that you could make, and you're going to accuse me. They always accuse me of genocide. I say men and women are different. They say you committed genocide. I say that America's fine and conquest has existed for all of history. They say you've done genocide. All right, well, you have the opportunity to correct me if you're so strong in your convictions.
But you didn't.
But then, no. I think she felt that her cell phone was probably a more apt debate sparring partner for her. Okay, next one.
So Republican commentator Michael Knowles has now called for the banning of that, quote, evil pride flag from every public space forever. I'm sorry. Aren't the Republicans the same people who claim to love the Constitution?
If you waved a gay flag in Washington's face, he would have driven you out of town on a rail. That's true of all of the founding fathers. The men who founded our country, which has been since the 17th century, since before the American Revolution, long before, an explicitly Christian country, no, they would not have tolerated the rainbow marches, actually, believe it or not. We have a very modern liberal view of the Constitution in American history because we don't really study history at all, and we adopt a very shallow ideology. But for goodness sakes, we had laws against sodomy in America until 2005.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
2003, 2005 was Lawrence v. Texas. And then somehow they found a right to that in the Constitution. But this stuff was, until very, very recently, these laws weren't really enforced. They were more to just set a standard than to, they're not actually trying to arrest people who are, a little light in the loafers or whatever. It's just to set a standard. But the blithe ignorance of history and the American tradition to suggest, there's nothing more American than drag queen story hour. Give me a break.
This would be a blatant violation of the First Amendment. Not being able to fly the pride flag where you want to fly it is against your freedom of speech.
I didn't say in private spaces. I didn't say you can't have a pride flag, in your home or in your car if you're really into that stuff. I think it's bad. I would discourage it, but I'm not going to, sick the police on you. But in public spaces, we're talking government buildings, town square. Yeah, we don't need that. This kid wouldn't fly a Nazi flag in the town square or at a public building. I wouldn't fly it either. So we all recognize you can limit the flags that you fly in these public spaces. He's really just arguing because he loves the gay symbols.
Gay, so gay.
Which, okay, I guess, I think he's a fairly prominent Democrat activist, so I'm not surprised. But come on, man, that's not a principled argument. It's just because you really enjoy the gay expressions.
I mean, Republicans claim that they love the First Amendment and that they care about freedom of speech, and then they do things completely contradicting it. Consistency has always been an issue for Republicans.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I wrote a book about the First Amendment called Speechless, where I actually said the problem is not that we have too much censorship, but the wrong kind of censorship. So this guy also is perhaps not as familiar with the way conservatives actually think about these things and hasn't read my book. Who knows how many books this guy's read. But he seems to be very confused. All right, which is my favorite of the mean TikToks? I kind of like the guy going after me for the laundry machine. Because, he almost has a point. He just doesn't understand how fancy my laundry machine is. But ultimately, he does not have a point either. That's that. See you next time.
Hey, I'm sorry I didn't see you there. I was too busy blocking out the haters.